Okay, let us start, please. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to welcoming our distinguished guests from Northwestern University in Israel and at Tel Aviv University. After quite a bit of arrangements, we finally launched this new series, which is planned to be held once a year, alternating between Northwestern and Tel Aviv University. So very much will depend on the success of this workshop, but the plan is to hold every year on another theme. It is my pleasure to invite the Dean of Engineering, Professor Yossi Rosenwaks from the School of Electrical Engineering to greet the audience.
Okay, good morning, colleagues and friends. It's really a great pleasure, a personal pleasure to open this conference, and I'll start with a small story, my relationships, and that led also to the relationships, I think, between Noam and David that was behind this conference started, I think, in 2006 or 2007. When I went to visit Urbana-Champaign, and then I had one day left. I had my flight back from O'Hare, and I had one day left, so I decided to visit Northwestern for the first time. And then I went to the corridor and saw David's office and posters. I knocked on his door. He wasn't there. But then I visited Dravid, and then I wrote email to David, and then it all started, the relationship with Lincoln, and I'm coming there every year. So it's really a pleasure, and that it developed to the sabbatical of Noam and to the formation of the department. So it's really a great pleasure to open this conference here. So just one word about the Faculty of Engineering. Faculty of Engineering, which I'm now the dean of, has 5 main units: the School of Electrical Engineering, School of Mechanical Engineering, Department of Industrial Engineering, Department of Biomedical Engineering, and Department of Industrial Engineering. Altogether, we have about 105 faculty and 4,000 students. It's a big number of students, 1,400 of which are graduates. So we have 1,400 graduate students body. It's a huge research body, and really proud of it. So I hope that during today, tomorrow, and Tuesday, you will be able to see some of the faculty and some of the labs. So I really hope to have an enjoyable scientific conference, and indeed that it will lead to further relationships with Northwestern, and have an enjoyable stay. Thank you very much.
Next, we would like to show you a greeting that we just got this morning from Dean Otino. So it was very instrumental in putting this workshop together. And together with Yossi Rosenwaks, they met, and they shared the same vision or wish that to extend the collaborations between the two institutes, and specifically between the school, McCormick School, and the Faculty of Engineering. So I'll just run it.
Hello, my name is Julio Otino. I'm the Dean of Engineering in the McCormick School of Engineering at Northwestern University. And it is my distinct pleasure to be able to give you these remarks before the first workshop that we'll have between Tel Aviv University and Northwestern. The accent of this workshop is on materials, a little bit in McCormick, and even though the bulk is on things that have to do with material science, there are components having to do with electrical engineering, for example. Work in materials is central to the competitiveness of countries, because material selection is the first decision that one has to make in the development of new technologies. At the intersection of these two institutions, Tel Aviv University with a new emphasis in material science and Northwestern. We expect that by this collaboration, of which this workshop is the first step, many good things will happen, and I'm positive that many of them will emerge as a result of this workshop that you will have today. So again, many thanks for the chance to give these brief remarks, and best luck to all of you with the workshop. Thank you.
Professor Joseph Klafter, the president of the university, was supposed to greet as well, but he had to leave to New York City for 3 days, so he's returning today afternoon, and hopefully will be on time for the gala dinner. So he asked me to apologize and convey his warm greetings and support to all attendees. And next, it is a pleasure to invite Dr. Eliaz Strauss from the Israel Ministry of Science, Technology, and Space, one of the sponsors of this workshop, to say a few words.
Yes, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Israel. My name is Dr. Eliaz Strauss, and I'm a graduate of Tel Aviv University here in the electrochemistry department. Currently, I'm working as a director of the Chemistry, Materials Engineering, and Nanotechnology in the Ministry of Science and Technology and Space. It is my honor to welcome you to the first Northwestern Tel Aviv University workshop. I extend you also warm regards from the Chief Scientist, Professor Nurit Irmia, and the General Director, Ido Sharir. They send you their warm regards. This workshop aims to bring together leading material scientists, experts in the field of semiconductors, electronic materials, thin film, and photonic from both universities. The topics are diverse, but all deals with materials. Emphasis is placed on electronic materials, bio and molecular electronics materials, photonic, thin films coating, electro and electroless deposition, spintronic, computational material, thermoelectric and optical materials, functional oxides, growth of nanostructure, nanoparticles, nanoplasmonic, semiconductors, energy conversion-related materials, memory systems, and magnetic materials. These advanced materials form the basis of modern computation and electronics. The topics discussed in these meetings are multidisciplinary and therefore are central for the solution of global problems, such as sustainable environment and renewable energy. Hence, research into these materials is of vital importance. The main objective of the workshop are to provide platform for researchers and engineers from both universities to present their last research achievements and activities in these fields and related technologies, and to present unique opportunities of conducting discussions concerning recent progress and future challenges. It is worth mentioning the last day of the meeting, which is dedicated to tutorial of graduate students and postdoc. The tutorial will be held by senior scientists. This way, the workshop provides a great opportunity for the education of the next generation and a platform for young researchers to learn firsthand about these important topics. It enables greater chance for networking, fostering future collaboration among researchers from both universities. I would also like to take this opportunity to describe briefly the programs and strategies of the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Space. The Ministry is one of the organizations that are responsible for the promotion of science and technology in Israel. Its activity is placed somewhere between academic research, which is curiosity-driven, and practical implementation, which usually is industrial R&D. One of the promotion channels is funding instruments which support empirical applied research and various additional programs. The main programs are strategic infrastructure, which most of you are familiar with, and promotion international relationship with other countries. In the frame of strategic infrastructure, we also have a program of excellence scholarship to PhD students and postdoc. We have also a program for promotion of science to community, which this program also includes the foundation of R&D regional research in Israel. For the Israel here, I would like to mention that all the call for proposals were published last week and appear in the ministry website. There are two main call for proposals that are relevant to this audience. One of them is science and technology for the benefit of aging society. This is a multidisciplinary field. The call for proposals has three themes: life science and medical science, social science and behavioral science, and technologies. The technologies is related to you, and it includes ICT, which includes electro-optics, photonics, electronics, communication, micro and nanotechnology for advanced diagnostic and treatment, mechatronics for medical equipment, material science and engineering, transportation, smart cities. The trick is that you must find a partner from the other two disciplines, which is life science and medical science, and the social science and behavioral science. Another call for proposal that you might benefit of is the new program that was established, which is applied and engineering science. There is lack of funding research in this field. Recently, a new funding program was established by the ministry after a long persuasion campaign with the Treasury Ministry. Some of the relevant themes in the call for proposal for the next year are electrical engineering, material engineering, and electro-optics. You may find more details in the website. There are, in the frame of the international scientific collaboration, sorry about the phone, I forgot to turn it off. Another program that you may find interest is the Meronet, which is in the frame of the European Union. The relevant topics are integrated computational material engineering, new surfaces and coating, high-performance synthetic and bio-based composite, material for sustainable and affordable low-carbon energy technologies, and materials for additive manufacturing. It's needless to say that many of the proposals that were submitted in the frame of these different programs included the topics that are covered by this workshop. If you have a novel idea of research of new field, you are more than welcome to apply to us. Thank you for your attention and participating in this workshop. I wish you a fruitful and stimulating discussions, and I hope this workshop will become tradition, as Noam said before. Enjoy your time here and in Israel.
Thank you, Ella. I must admit that for the last 1 year, we have extended our interaction with the Ministry of Science, Technology and Space, and with Ella specifically. And I hope this will go on and extend further. So thank you, Ella, and all of the staff. Next, it is a pleasure to me to invite Professor David Seidman, the co-chair of this conference, to greet. For me, hosting David in Israel and Shoshana is a great pleasure. We see David not just as a colleague, but I can say now as a family member. As Professor Rosenwaks mentioned, I had the honor of being an Ashbach scholar under the supervision of David Seidman and David Dunand. Unfortunately, I had to spend much time at that time on founding the new department here, so I apologize for this, David. But anyway, it is a great pleasure to. And also, David is on the International Advisory Board of the department, which consists of very famous people all over the world who represent different aspects of materials. He is my secret advisor in many things related to the foundation of the department, recruitment of new faculty, and so on. And I must say that he's the most active board member in this regard. So thank you on behalf of everybody, David, for your very instrumental and helpful help.
Thank you. Well, welcome, everyone. I want to start off with something that Einstein said. You know, he said many, many things. And I have a small book at home, which was written by, well, not really written, assembled by a woman from Princeton University. And one of them was, he liked countries in inverse proportion to their size. And I like scientific meetings in inverse proportion to their size. So I like Gordon conferences a lot, but this is even better because I think we can all get to know one another very well during the next few days. I want to just say a few additional words to add to what Yossi and Noam said about the genesis of this workshop. It really dates back to when Yossi first visited Northwestern, when I wasn't there that day. But it continued with a BSF, well, first with a SRC, Semiconductor Research Corporation grant, and then with a BSF, and now with another BSF. So we've been interacting for a number of years now. And Noam, as he said, he spent a sabbatical year at Northwestern, and he was, I don't think he slept during that sabbatical year, because he was attending meetings here at Tel Aviv University during the day and at all hours of the day. And then he would come in fresh in the morning, ready to work a whole day again. And he shared an office with a visitor from mainland China at that time who was working with David Yunnan. And his English, to put it mildly, wasn't very strong. But at the end of the year, listening to Noam attend all these meetings here at Tel Aviv University, he spoke a passable street Hebrew. So he learned that during the year. He thought he was learning English, but to work with Noam is a real experience. And you cannot imagine how much work went into this small workshop. It's not a huge number of people. And Noam is always on top of things. If I would send him an email letter about something, say 8 o'clock Chicago time, I would get an answer sometimes within an hour or less. And every little detail Noam was on top of. And you'll see, I think it will reflect itself in how this meeting is organized. So the hope is, well, I just want to say another point about the genesis. So first, Noam met with Julio Otino, and he was quite excited about what was happening here. And then I think it was about maybe within a month or less, Yossi came for his annual visit, and Yossi also spoke with Julio, and Julio said, "Stop," and he said to his assistant, Anna Maria, "Please go upstairs and get Alan Sahakian to come down here," because he said, "I see a chance for an interaction also with the people in electrical engineering who are working on materials." And actually, within a year, Yossi and Alan Sahakian filed for a patent, provisional patent. So, and then the idea of this workshop, I'm trying to think of exactly when it was formulated, but we talked about it. Oh, yes, it was in a plan, a long-range plan for interactions between our departments. And one of the topics was a workshop. And then we applied to Global McCormick, and we got some funds from Global. Julio added some money to that. And then the provost, Dan Linzer, added some money to that. And then the two departments, electrical engineering and material science, added some money. And then also Mark Hersam, as director of MERSEC, added some money to that. So we had a nice kitty to begin with. And then Noam went to work, and you can see in all the acknowledgments the number of Israeli funding agencies. And he left, he contacted, I think, everyone possible in this country, this small country, who could give some money towards this workshop. So you'll see, I think, no one has to spend a penny of their own money to attend this meeting. So that's a wonderful thing. So I'm looking forward to a great workshop. Thank you.
So I decided not to say too much in terms of greetings and more give you just a brief orientation and technicalities. And I will keep some words for tonight for the gala dinner. Just one more comment on top of what David mentioned for those of you who are not aware of it. The idea is that actually David is the initiator of this interaction, and he took me to the Mike Bedzik. And we sat together and we put together a long portfolio of possible collaborations. that includes almost everything that you can think of, including a change of faculty, postdocs, joint supervision of PhD students, etc., etc. And we tried to rank them from more realistic to less realistic, and also depending on the money that we will have to raise to allow them. And eventually we came to Dino Tino with this portfolio. He was very supportive, very enthusiastic about it. And the idea is that both institutes and the presidents and Dino Tino and also here are trying to find now proper donors and donations that will allow this collaboration to last for many years, not just the workshop. So the workshop was the easiest thing to start with, but the workshop is definitely aimed on both sides to try to initiate new collaborators, and it will be used on both sides now to try to raise dedicated funding. And David and Shoshana are going to ask some possible donors during the springtime and also here. So hopefully something productive will come out of it. And this will be, I think if it works, it will be beautiful. So the next one in 2016 will be held at Northwestern University. This is probably pretty confident. So I would focus just on a few technicalities. Each one of you got this envelope. You have the two-sided program. Today afternoon, you will get already a more the full program and book of abstracts bonded in a booklet, so you will get it later. We didn't forget it, but this is just for the morning. Some of you got in the envelopes invitation to chair the sessions, so we don't accept no, so this means that you accepted. And I asked the chairs to be very strict with respect to the time plan, so we don't get the conferences. The plan is fairly tight, so we need to stick to the time. What you also have, you have a memory stick with the logo of Tel Aviv University. You have the final program as a PDF file saved on it, okay? So you have it inside. You have a pen also to write on your iPad or whatever you bring with you. You can use it with Tel Aviv logo and something to write. I also want to ask you to kindly turn off or move or change to plane mode your cell phones. With respect to today, so we will start with the two parallel sessions. Altogether during the workshop, we are going to use only two classes. So this is one, and the other one is 101, which is the next floor, okay? Intentionally, we didn't take large rooms because we wanted to be more intimate. The coffee breaks will be held parallelly in the two classes, so you don't have to move from one class to the other, I believe. Today, at 12:15, we will go to the Burgerim, which is located in the dorm. Some of you may have noticed this. During the coffee break before, Edna will take a reservation from each one of you because it takes them some time to cook. So I promised them to get some early warning of exactly what they have to work on. And the whole place is only for us, so should be no interruptions. Hopefully this will be good time for you to continue private communications, and I urge my Israeli colleagues not to be tempted to go to the office and work. Please try to join these socials.
You can work here also.
Yes. And then 3:30 to 5, there is a lab tour intentionally at the end of the day. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it tomorrow at the end of the day. So during the day, you will have a sense of which labs the NU attendees are interested to visit. And the only thing that you will need to do is let Edna know. We have students waiting in the lab, so they will be more than pleased to present their work to you. And we will not do it one group, but instead we will let each one of you to select which labs is interested, okay? So I think this will be most effective. And then you will have some time to refresh, change clothes, and 7:30 we have the banquet at the Goshen restaurant in Nachlat Binyamin, we will have a bus waiting for you, 7 o'clock for the Israelis, 7:10 for the Americans, at the entrance to the Broshim dorms. I urge in particular my Israeli colleagues to be on time, okay? We would like to be there at 7:30. So this is for today. For tomorrow we'll speak about it. But I think last thing before we start, since not everybody knows everybody, and by the way, people from EE, I don't see Professor Seda Memich, as she arrived. Do you know?
The plane comes in
this morning. Okay. So also, you got the NU attendees got envelopes with some new Israeli shekels. If you have not done it yet, please check that you got the correct amount. Sign the document that you have in the envelope and make sure that I get it as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will visit me in jail next year. So. Finally, before we start, I think it's good time to have a quick screen of the people that are sitting here so everybody knows everybody, okay? At least those who are here. So let's start. Is everybody introduced himself? Have I overlooked anybody? Okay. So finally, my name is Noam Eliaz. My lab is called Biomaterials and Corrosion. We are dealing with corrosion from nuclear reactors to the human body, electroless and electroplating of functional alloys, for instance, for high temperature applications funded by the US Air Force and other defense organizations, and also development of coatings for implants. One of them is already being commercialized now. And in this regard, a student of mine, a PhD student of mine who is outside, Noam just won a BSF travel grant to go to David Seidman lab, atom probe, and do some characterization of the self-assembly monolayers and the interface between the surface-treated titanium and the calcium phosphate coating that was grown. So we are all set. Then we are perfect on time, just for coffee break. And at 10 o'clock, please let us convey back. Session number 1 is here, and session number 2 on photonics is session 1 is electronic and low-dimensional materials here. Session 2 on photonics, room 101, first floor. Enjoy the conference, the workshop.